myself. Oh no, give me that cell. Oh, I gotta go like Cobain. 8 years to the grave, gone insane. My blood got propane. How you gon' go and throw my name with shame? Already cross-faded, making it to the disco. I hate it, and you know how this goes. You framed it, picture painted in my room. This that real life shit, not on Zoom. Got the scene in it.
Make sure you subscribe to JerCrispy.
There you go. What's up, y'all? It's your host, the most, that's the most. JerCrispy, welcome back to another video. How Hollywood killed Cat in the Hat. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow our social media. It's about the Brewskis. My nigga Brewski. Shit, it's something that I liked it. I said, look, shit, we can watch this. So I was not about to watch this off camera. So I was like, fuck it, let's watch this. Let's watch this together. We is gaining subscribers slowly. I appreciate everybody that's joining the channel slowly by slowly. We getting there slowly by the day, but we halfway there to 300. Y'all just keep coming back for some more and keep watching. Sub up, show your friends, family. If you're in college, school, anywhere, work, you can show anybody this videos for everybody. So yeah, let's get it.
The Cat in the Hat is often remembered as one of the most bizarre releases of the early 2000s.
Live-action version of the Cat in the Hat just wasn't a great idea.
This isn't Dr. Seuss. It's not even
quite terrifying.
But the adaptation of Dr. Seuss's classic story wasn't just a nightmare for audiences. Cat in the Hat was a horror show both on and off screen, and at the center of the chaos was the actor who basically got blackmailed into putting on the infamous costume. In the year 2000, Universal Studios released the first live-action Dr. Seuss adaptation with How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
And that ain't bad.
While the film wasn't exactly popular with critics, they managed to gross almost $350 million at the box office, and it quickly became cemented as a Christmas classic. So naturally, the company was eager to adapt more of Seuss's work, and The Cat in the Hat was an easy pick. The casting process was set into motion. The cat was initially supposed to be played by Tim Allen. He was interested in the role and even did some early stage preparation, but due to conflicting schedules with 2 other projects at the time, he ultimately dropped out. That's when the name Mike Myers came up, but the studio was reluctant. Myers should have been a great pick. He was known for his background in playing roles with larger-than-life cartoonish characteristics, perfect for capturing the whimsy of a Dr. Seuss book, and should have been a strong follow-up to Jim Carrey's iconic performance in The Grinch. Mike was, to say the least, creatively conflicted at the time. In the late 90s, he had been working on a movie based on his popular Saturday Night Live character, Dieter.
The hell?
There was a deal with Universal, and they had already dumped millions of dollars into funding it when Myers
Nigga did what? Wait, go back. So by Micah Myers, Jack Handy's. I thought it was
millions of dollars into funding it when Myers decided to back out. He thought it was going to be unfilmable, claiming he could not in good conscience accept $20 million and cheat moviegoers who pay their hard-earned money for my work by making a movie with an unacceptable script. As a result, Universal sued Myers for breach of contract, and in response he countersued the company. Eventually they reached a settlement, and as part of Myers' agreement, he was contractually obligated to do another movie for Universal and make up for that loss. That's when he was cast as the titular character of Cat in the Hat, which would end up being a huge mistake. He clearly did not want to be there. Maybe it was a lack of interest in the role, or maybe he just wanted to spite the company. Whatever the case was, Myers would go on to make the set miserable for everyone. Actress Amy Hill, who played Mrs. Kwan, described him as a diva, stating in an interview that he would rarely talk to any of the cast and crew, basically pretending they didn't exist. If he needed something communicated, he had information relayed through his assistants. She mentioned that he had someone on standby whose job was to just hold a Tupperware of chocolate and deliver them to him whenever.
Nigga, I'll be damn. Just sit there and just hold some chocolate from a nigga. Nigga, you don't grab this chocolate. The fuck wrong with
He
you?
wanted one. He gave his chocolate guy more attention than some of his co-stars. It was just a horrible, nightmarish experience. I don't think he got to know anybody. He'd just be with his people and walk away. He would reportedly show up late to set and take ages to get into costume and makeup, forcing everyone to wait for hours and delaying the schedule. When he finally did get to set, the actor micromanaged the entire production. They'd do a take, Mike would go look it over, talk to the director, and then do another take, over and over again. He wasn't communicating with the cast, so they never really knew what he was saying. All they did know was that director Bo Welch gave Myers very little pushback on this behavior, allowing him to constantly challenge the writers. Unfortunately, this was his first time directing a movie, so he was understandably intimidated by someone with Mike Myers' status. And when Myers demanded line changes and refused to shoot scenes, Welch felt he had to sit back and let it happen. It was his way or no way. He was supposed to be playing a beloved character from one of the most iconic picture books of all time, but the off-screen tension made it hard for his co-stars to see him that way. The movie's confusing tone stemmed largely from Myers. Originally, it had a more kid-friendly script, but Mike felt he needed to insert crude adult jokes, innuendos, and awkward one-liners that he thought better suited his comedy style.
Dirty hoe. Son of a...
He was used to the loose, improv environment of something like Austin Powers, where nearly 40% of the dialogue was improvised, though it should have been easy to see that this wouldn't translate well into a colorful, family-friendly Dr. Seuss movie.
I feel like dude should never did like that cocky shit, bro. That like how the way he acting, cause karma is real, y'all. Just know karma is real. And nothing wrong with Cat in the Hat. I said that like that ass. I think 2 months ago I was watching this shit. Bro, ain't nothing wrong with Cat in the Hat. It's funny as hell though. Ain't nothing wrong with the movie funny. But how they wanted to put it as, you know, Cat in the Hat on some different shit. So I mean I like how the movie came out and shit like that, but I wish they had like a group like bonus. You know how like Toy Story got the stuff and saying, oh, this is bonus, this is, you know, cutting, this what supposed to happen, blah blah blah, all that shit. But what y'all think about it? Y'all think this is a terrible movie? Y'all tell me about this, man. Y'all think Cat in the Hat or the actor messed it up? Did he? Let me know.
Turned the film into something unrecognizable from its original script, although he wasn't the only one to blame for the complicated environment. While this was Bo Welch's directorial debut, he was an experienced production designer, having worked on movies like Beetlejuice and Edward Scissorhands, which undeniably showed in the set design for Cat in the Hat. Rather than filming in an actual town or a traditional studio, they constructed an entire artificial neighborhood. Every aspect of it, from plants to roads to houses, was painted in an oversaturated style to achieve the cartoony, surreal vibe.
I thought that was green screen. Dead ass, I thought this whole thing was green screen. You couldn't tell me that thing was not green screen right here? Like, look at that.
We're aiming for.
I think we shot one day on one set where there was something real. That was the grass. Otherwise, everything else was manufactured. On the stages we went, everywhere we went, even the trees were fake. So when design is everywhere in a movie, it does set a very special tone.
But this came with a lot of problems, maintenance being a huge one. As if the cost of building a neighborhood wasn't deep enough, any damage or weathering to the set required fixing and repainting, which not only cost more, but further delayed production. The bright, unnatural colors demanded meticulous lighting to avoid glare. On top of that, the interior sets, like the house, were made to look warped and cartoonish, but they were extremely tight, leaving little room for the crew. Bright studio lights and small spaces made it a hot, claustrophobic environment. Everyone suffered, but Mike, being in a full bodysuit and face prosthetics, got irritated frequently and would have to go reset his costume during takes.
Being a good sport. What's that? You're being a good sport. Seems hard.
There were quite a few scenes that didn't make the final cut, and it was probably for the better. One of them featured Thing 1 and Thing 2 trying to delay the mom's arrival, and to do so, they chug a mountain of water bottles. When she gets to the neighborhood, Thing 1 floods the streets with piss.
Blood? There's not a cloud in the sky.
Through all the challenges behind the scenes, Universal still had enough confidence in the film's success to
Alright,
greenlight
bro.
a video game alongside its release, and even planned on making a sequel. However, the movie hit theaters on November 21st, 2003, and it was immediately met with scathing reviews from critics and audiences alike.
There's one thing I've learned from these two movies is that we don't want to see Jim Carrey as a Grinch, and we don't want to see Mike Myers as a cat.
It's hard to say.
Damn, what that guy got? What that got? Damn, y'all hating? Shit, I think Jim Carrey actually hit that role. Damn, the critics love hating on the nigga. God damn.
Who is less recognizable in The Cat in the Hat, Mike Myers or the actual Cat in the Hat? Let's hope this insult of a movie doesn't taint any child's ability to enjoy the original. Crude humor full of pop culture references. This not only yanks us out of the dreamlike on-screen world, but it makes the film painful to watch. But no one hated it more than Dr. Seuss's widow, Audrey Geisel. So much so that she went on to ban any future live-action Dr. Seuss adaptation on behalf of...
Damn. So we could have got a lot of lives show. I mean, it's 50-50. I'm gonna give her claps for that shit, but my nigga, Disney now just making everything live action as we speak.
That's why there have only been animated adaptations since. It's hard to put all the blame for its failure on one person. One of the biggest criticisms for the film was its inconsistent tone with too many adult jokes, and that was largely due to Mike Myers. Critics found his portrayal of the cat to be creepy and obnoxious as well, but its issues went much deeper than that. The unfocused direction, hyperactive pacing, and annoying slapstick humor all played a role in the movie's demise. While some thought the sets were impressive, others found them to be oversaturated eyesores. It was really just hard to determine who the film was for. Parents were upset and uncomfortable, kids were confused, and critics were repulsed. Mike Myers' career took a bit of a hit afterwards. He still voice acted for the Shrek franchise in the following years, but his next major live-action appearance was The Love Guru in 2008, which was even more of a commercial and critical flop. His reputation in Hollywood was soured, being known as difficult to work with. He's since chosen to take a step back from acting. Aside from a few scattered roles here and there, he largely vanished from the public eye.
Damn.
Regardless, Mike Myers is still viewed as a comedy legend, which is a status that will never change. Many of those involved did go on to have lasting careers, but for everyone, the film was an all-time low. Maybe The Cat in the Hat was a good movie that got lost along the way, or maybe this story was never meant to be adapted in live action to begin with.
Alright, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow social media that did pop up on the screen. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Do y'all truly like The Cat in the Hat and the Grinch movie? Y'all let me know. See y'all when I see y'all. Love y'all to the bottom of my heart. I'm out.